Alright, today we're going to talk about oxy-fuel cutting, and we're going to talk about how we can set up the torch. The torch is located on the cart. We need to go ahead and unravel the hoses to get ready to cut. Take your face shield and lay it down so that it's not on the face. Pick up the torch and start to unravel the hose. You want to make sure the hose doesn't have any kinks in it or that it's being dropped on by any hot metal. Once you get the hose unraveled, lay it out nice and straight, again so that you won't be stepping on it or that hot metal will fall onto it. We have several different types of regulators in the shop. They all have dials that indicate how much pressure is on the tank and how much pressure is in the hose or the line. They all have adjusting screws. These adjusting screws will increase or decrease the pressure. These screws will vary in look and appearance depending on how old your torch regulators are. Rule of thumb is that they turn clockwise to increase pressure and counterclockwise to decrease pressure. First, you want to make sure the adjusting screw is backed off and that it is somewhat loose in both the oxygen and the acetylene. We don't want to open the tanks when there's pressure on the system. Go ahead and open the oxygen all the way. On the top of the oxygen, it'll even say open and close, but turn it counterclockwise to open. Acetylene, turn it one turn to get pressure on the tank. Oxygen, we're going to set our pressure to about 18 to 20. Slowly increase the pressure until the needle reads at 18 to 20. With the acetylene, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to set it for 3 to 5 psi for cutting. Here we have a two-part torch. This is convenient because we can replace it with heating or welding tips as well. Make sure that the cutting tip is secured on and it's nice and snug. You do not need to use a wrench. Hand tight is good. There's an O for oxygen and F for fuel. Oxygen is green, fuel is red. Make sure you don't get these mixed up. On the oxygen side of the torch, you have two knobs, a bottom oxygen and a top oxygen knob. The top oxygen knob adjusts your flame. The bottom oxygen knob is actually adjusted by the lever. We want the bottom oxygen all the way open. That way when we hit the lever, we have full oxygen. Slowly crack open the acetylene. Light the flame. When you light the flame, you want to adjust more acetylene until the soot goes away and there's kind of a feathery flame attached to it. Then you slowly add oxygen to the flame until all the cones are the same size. You'll notice that there's an outer cone and a series of small inner cones. You don't want too much oxygen, but you don't want the flames to grow when you hit the lever. We're all set up. Once you're done, make sure you wrap up your hoses and bleed your line. Make sure you turn off both tanks all the way. Open up the acetylene valve on the torch to bleed out the gas that's in the line. Open up the bottom oxygen and pull the lever to bleed out the oxygen line. Once both lines of both tanks are bled out, back off the adjusting screw till there's little to no pressure on them. Now you're ready to go.